Everybody in this country right now, in fact, pretty much everybody across the globe, is concerned about the coronavirus. We want to take extra steps. We want to be healthy. We want to disinfect everything possible. And that goes double if you happen to work in a hospital for very obvious reasons. Hospitals have always tried to remain as germ-free as possible, which makes sense when you're in an environment filled with people who need cleanliness. But unfortunately, one of the chemicals that hospitals have been using for quite some time now to disinfect themselves is turning out to cause severe breathing and respiratory problems in hospital workers. Joining me now to talk about this is Scott Hardy with Top Class Actions. And Scott, we're talking about Oxycide made by Ecolab. Tell us what's happening with this product.
So Oxycide is a very potent disinfectant, as you mentioned. You have these hospitals that are trying to get away from bleach, even though bleach is a relatively easy one to use. Oxycide is very, 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 very potent. It's so potent, in fact, that you can't just sit there and spray it on a wall or spray it on a table to clean it up. No, it's actually has a special receptacle that has the stuff in it. You have your rag in there. You take your rag out of that receptacle, and then you wipe down the walls. You wipe down the tables, the beds, the arm rails, all those kinds of things. And so this is, they're trying to kill MRSA. They're obviously now trying to kill coronavirus with these things. But it's such a potent antiseptic that it actually can hurt the people who are using it. They have to wear a mask when they're cleaning because it can hurt the mucous membranes in the nose, the mouth, the lungs. And you have those hospital employees who are suffering long-term injuries. It's not just the janitorial team who are cleaning and sterilizing these rooms. It's the doctors, it's the nurses, it's the nursing assistants, the attendants that are having to walk in and out of these operating rooms, breathing these fumes on a regular basis and developing severe allergic reactions to it, so severe that some of these folks can't actually work in those environments anymore. And now it's actually been identified as so severe that some hospitals are stopping using the Oxycide cleaner because of these issues.
So usually you and I sit here, we talk about products that don't work. Oxycide apparently works a little too well. And so that's a little different than what we're used to talking about here. But also, you mentioned the fact that it's not just the people who are out there actively having to use the cleaner. So this isn't an issue where, okay, well, if you wore a respirator, would that change this? No, this is people who come into these rooms, minutes, maybe even hours later being exposed to this, people who cannot walk around wearing a respirator. So yes, this is a very big issue. You do not want the people operating on you to start having breathing problems in the middle of an operation. That's only going to make things so much worse. So, where are we at with all of this right now? Are we still in the investigation phase? Has anything been filed? What's the status here?
So the law firms that we're speaking to on this one, specifically McCune Wright, they're actually filing cases now. They're talking to anesthesiologists, doctors, nurses, janitorial teams that are having these health issues because they received reports of people that were, a doctor goes on vacation, comes back, walks into the operating room, and just all of a sudden has a severe reaction and can't work anymore. They're seeing this across the country. And frankly, when we launched this investigation, at first I went, well, there are a lot of hospitals out there, but I don't know what kind of reaction we're going to get. And we've received a lot of submissions from those who are working in these hospitals and experiencing these severe side effects. And so, yeah, they're actively filing cases. They're actively talking to those folks who are impacted. If you're saying, hey, I think I was impacted by this, you'll want to submit your information. You'll want to talk to the attorneys who are handling these cases, and they'll be able to give you the honest opinion because they are the ones that are actively litigating these cases right now.
So what are some of the effects we're seeing? I know you've mentioned a couple. What all are we seeing happen to the people who are exposed to this when they're having these reactions?
You're seeing coughing, wheezing, asthma-like symptoms, even though they've never been diagnosed with asthma, headaches, burning eyes, loss of voice, upset stomach. They can even have skin burns if they're touching some of these areas that are recently cleaned. Raw lips, sores on or in the mucous membranes, cracked hands and nails, burning eyes, headaches. I mean, it really runs the gamut. But what it leads to is people that are unable to work in that environment. And that's what's making some of these hospitals drop Oxycide and go back to regular old strong bleach.
So if anybody watching this, if you work in a hospital or know somebody who works in a hospital that's experienced any of these symptoms, you want to follow the link in the description of this video. Go to Top Class Actions, get all of this information, and if you're not already, please do subscribe to their weekly newsletter. Scott Hardy with Top Class Actions, thank you very much for talking with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for your time, Farron.